Alright, we got that fitting on there nice. And that's in place there. Alright, here we go. There. Got to make sure this is all on the hinges correctly. Like that. There. See how that all fits in like that? Alright. Now I'm going to take my welded adhesive, put a little notch there, put a little dab on each hinge, and that will be enough to hold this in place. Like that. There we go. There. Alright. We've got that in place now. Now we're ready to... Oh yeah, let me go back to this little fellow here, because we have a little bit of a gap here, as you can see. And that's because this part here, this roof, has kind of flattened out. I don't know if that's a manufacturing issue or not, but it doesn't. You can probably see the gaps in here a little bit, so we need to do a little tweaking there to get that to lie a little flatter, to get this roof to conform to the shape of the cylinder. And that's relatively easy to fix. Just take your finger, lay it across the top, and apply a little firm pressure to get this roof to conform to the roof line of the actual body itself. So a little pressure, not too much. You don't want to crush the thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and dab some the weld along the roof line here, just like that. This is where I'm going to need to actually hold this thing for about 30 seconds to make sure, maybe a minute or so. I'm going to hold this for about a minute and make sure the glue sets correctly and holds, makes the roof hold in the proper shape. So I'm going to bow out for a little bit. I'll be back when this thing's glued. Alright, back after a little bit, and looks looking a bit better. Okay, this is lying, the roof is lying flatter against the body of the car. A little bit of a gap there, but not too noticeable. But the roof now conforms to the body of the car. So that's looking a lot better. There's no gap in there right now. So, alright, next step is to put the brake cylinder units on to the car here, and this is what I was trying to explain earlier. You kind of want to think of these models and assemble them from the inside out, because we want to get this on first before we actually put the railing on. So let's cut this part out carefully with our knife, our sharp knife. Okay, gentle. You don't want to use too much pressure, because this part is actually pretty. These are pretty delicate parts, because it's got these fine details, these lines going between these items. So you want to be careful when cutting them out. Be very careful. And there we go. Got that. Let me flip this around. Do that there. Do that here. It's coming loose. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Again. Whoops. There we go. Clean off any excess sprue off of here. And when you get to stuff this fine and delicate and this small, unless you're going to do some real close-up photography, I wouldn't worry about getting these too clean, unless you are a perfectionist, and there's nothing wrong with that. You want to get some real close-up shots of your models, and you don't want them to be messy with some sprues sticking out, but this is going to be kind of buried behind the railing here, so you're not going to, it's not going to be as visible. It'll be a detail, you know that it's a detail, but as far as how well you clean it off, it will be good enough, to use the term. So let's get this off here. Alright, there. And again, these have little posts on here that will, you can see that, close up of that, will fit into the holes on the bottom here, just like that. And I think all I need to do is put this in and get these to fit into the holes. And then we'll apply some of that cement on the bottom. This is where it kind of gets a little tricky, trying to get all these to line up. Alright, set it down on a firm surface. Now I'm trying to set these in and push them into the holes like that. These two are fitting into their holes. These two are fitting, these big ones here are fitting into their holes correctly. They're doing fine. These smaller parts here are being a little fussy. They're kind of popping out because they're a little bit loose into their holes there. So what I'm going to do is glue these two big parts down first and then glue these smaller pieces, get them to fit in their holes, and glue them one at a time. Because these are just, they fit inside the holes there, but they keep popping out. So I'll secure these large pieces first rather than trying to do everything all at once. You can see there, they came in. Those have popped in okay. The big ones, the big cylinders there. The other ones are putting up a little bit of a fuss, but rather than fight it, we'll secure what we can secure first, then do each one individually, rather than trying to fuss with it and get it all to work at once. Alright, let's go. Take care of that. Little dab there. Wait a few seconds. I'm going to close this back up. Alrighty. Now I can start fighting my battles. Now I can start picking my battles here. Alright, let me glue this little part into place here, like that. And let me lay this upside down. Use the tweezers and push this part in place. Now I'm going to push it into its hole. Push this. There we go. It's working. Dab. There. Little dab of glue here. And that's secured. So that one's secured. Now we'll look at this one here. Once I got this last one on the end glued in, this one decided to cooperate and set still. Let's go apply some glue there. Alright, now what to... Okay, now this third part here, and one that's kind of buried back there. I'm not sure how much... Is that in? No, it's not. So what I might do, in cases like these, where you have a part that doesn't quite fit in, is just kind of glue this on here. Just kind of glue it in place where it's at. Alright, if it's not fitting into its hole, it's kind of twisted onto its side. It's a small enough detail where we can kind of, well, get away with murder, so to speak. So we'll just kind of glue it where it's at, because it's kind of buried and difficult to see. So again, it'll look good enough, and people will see you put together a small model like this and they'll be like, wow, razzle dazzle, but they won't know that this little piece back there didn't fit into the hole. So little smoke and mirrors there, folks.